Your strategic plans probably aren't strategic, or even plans. Hello manager, this is Victor Marromo speaking, and it's time for a recap. We almost reached Unit 5 of the Strategic Planning and Performance Management course. It happens all the time. A group of middle managers and directors get together at a resort for 2 days to hammer out a strategic plan. Done and dust, they all head home. But have they produced a plan with a strategy? At the start of my seminars on strategic planning, I ask attendees who rank from directors to middle management to write down an example of a strategy on a sheet of paper. They look at me dazzled at first, as they realize that this is a tough assignment. I reassure them that this is indeed a hard question. They plow ahead. The results are always astonishing to me, and also to them. Here are some of their responses from the list I received at my most recent session. Launch a new service. Review our suitability to the retirement business. Marketing our products through the right channels. Objectives: achieve 100 million net revenue. And broad descriptions of what goes on. Planning process from beginning to end of product. Working for your stakeholders. Sorry folks, but not even close. One of these responses is not a strategy. Strategic planning and performance management. Unit 5. Where are you going? Setting targets on objectives. The strategic planning and performance management approach to objective setting is unique, but very effective. The conventional approach is to set objectives as a single block, not categorized by key stakeholders. And this conventional approach doesn't work. And it doesn't work because you need to write separate strategies for customers, for employees, for suppliers, for owners, and so on, and maybe for competitors. How can a link be established between strategy for employees and results on a set of objectives? If that set isn't classified according to key stakeholders? The answer is it can't. Obtaining results on objectives via a particular strategy becomes, in the conventional approach, a guess at best, but more likely a leap of faith, not really very satisfactory. We developed a fresh approach in our strategic factor system, which can be placed in an intranet SharePoint, or maybe in a Power App, the essence of which is illustrated in Figure 5.1. It shows strategic factors as an outward flow from an organization or business unit. We describe this as what the key stakeholders want from us. We're familiar from this concept from Units 3 and 4. Objectives are what we want from them, from the key stakeholders. So, if you don't know your objectives, any strategy will do. Let's look at the position that objectives occupy in the strategy development funnel. In the figure above, we see that they sit below mission, vision, and values, and above strategy. They are sandwiched here because, in developing them, we take cues from the statements of mission, vision, and values. The objectives, in turn, shape the strategy. Having set objectives, it may realize that it has moved away from the original mission statement. So the decision is made to bring the statement into line with the design objectives. There is no attempt that has been made in Figure 5.2 to illustrate such feedback loops, but these possibilities should be kept in mind whenever the strategic development funnel is encountered. In this course, 2. Means-end sequence. Setting objectives without an effective framework is like asking the question, how long is a piece of string? Usually in these sessions you receive objectives that range from changing the carpet in the reception to achieving a return on shareholders' funds. You'll feel they can all be right, but the statements all seem plausible. No one apparently disagrees, but everyone feels we're not getting anywhere. We're just spinning our wheels. So, what's going on here? What's going on in this emergence of a means-end sequence that exists in all organizations and business units? An example is shown in Figure 5.3 via several other objectives. This example links the objective to have a good staff to the objective to show a return on investment. Each objective is an end in itself, but also a means to an end. You can imagine a discussion regarding the establishment of objectives such as this. Someone might suggest that the objective is to have good staff. Who could disagree? Yet it could be stated that, rather than an end in itself, this objective is a means to an end. The end being to deliver effective customer service. Again, who could disagree with this statement? Except that it could be pointed out that delivering effective customer service is not an end, but a means to having satisfied customers. And so the discussion would continue on and on, as an apparent end becomes a means to yet another end. So, in a means-end sequence, the objectives are usually moving between different key stakeholders. So, Figure 5.3 is a mishmash of objectives aligned with different key stakeholders. Setting objectives and establishing targets is an important task in strategic planning. Without clear objectives, how does a planning team select strategy from a range of options? And how would it know when the plan has achieved its target? This unit presents a breakthrough approach that our company has developed. It involves setting objectives by key stakeholder. The key to strategy is the positioning of one business against others. For example, GM against Ford and Toyota, for example. What exactly is positioning? Its placement on the strategic factors relevant to each key stakeholder group. An organization exists as part of a system composed of transactions between itself and its key stakeholders, such as customers, employees, suppliers, shareholders. Organizations differ in the detail of these sets, of course, depending on the complexity of the industry in which they're located. The task of a strategic planning team, and we have reviewed this, is to produce positions on these factors that deliver value to the organization's key stakeholders and meet the objectives of the organization. Let's go back to our course and take one of the responses. 100 million net revenue. This is an objective rather than a strategy, as a strategy serves an objective by providing position on the relevant strategic factors. In this case, for customers. Let's say the strategic planning team identifies price as one strategic factor. In this case, let's make the business, for example, Dan Murphy's Australia, the largest liquor retailer with a national footprint. It has stated its position on this factor unequivocally. Lowest liquor price guaranteed, in the unlikely event that a customer finds a lower price. We'll beat it on the spot. This is that company's position on price. Alternatively, let's look at Toyota. A strategic factor relevant to the same type of objective for customers is safety. By reviewing its materials, we can contribute the company's position on this, as safety is paramount and our cars are amongst the most advanced, reliable and safest on the road. Now, to ensure implementation, a strategic planning team must identify some project or program level actions. McDonald's had to do this when on product range it took this position. Traditional meal range, but with an increased emphasis on salad items, and with the option for customers to design their own burgers. Periodic special offerings to spur customer interest. You can envision the high-level actions that might follow, such as design a training program for all staff to made-order food handling procedures. If you take an helicopter view of the process I outlined, you can see that it involves system design. Each key stakeholder group is taken in turn to work out what an organization wants from it, an objective, and what the key stakeholder wants from it, strategic factors. For example, customers want effective performance on factors such as price and customer service. The strategic planning team must then decide on the organization's position on these factors, strategy. This will be conditioned, of course, by customer research. Having done this, key stakeholder by key stakeholder, the next step is to ensure congruence, a fit between employee relations and customer relations and supplier relations, and so on. A system design. My experience working with clients over many years is that executive teams fail to approach strategic planning from a system design perspective. A major cause of this is that managers within these teams approach the task from their own functional management view. Finance, HR, marketing, operations. Consequently, they think action when they mean to think strategy. Taking a stakeholder approach to strategic planning induces managers to raise their thinking to the organization level. Remember, strategic planning is a journey, not just a project. Plans require ongoing adjustment. Yes, kickstart yours with a 2-day retreat, but never end it there. Now,